Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at a Hasegawa Maschinen Krieger set here. This is the 1/35 scale Melusine Wald Geist. And I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that because my German is terrible, but this is a set of 2 of these power suits here from the world of Maschinen Krieger, and we'll take a look around the box and the contents in the box, and then we'll take a look at what the kits are going to look like. As always, most importantly, we have some beautiful artwork here of the 2 units. They're painted by Koyoko-san, the creator of Maschinen Krieger, and you can see one difference is that one is holding the Panzerfaust grenade there and the other one is not, so I'm guessing that that's going to be an option part. You can also see the marking here, and that's also right here, the mermaid on the shield marking right there. And letting us know what is included with this set, we have 2 types, 4 decorations, 2 powered suits. This is 1/35 scale and series 64-128. On the ends of the box, we're going to have alternate colors and showing you some of the different decal schemes here too, or at least some of the decal logos that we're going to have included. This side in navy blue, this side in typical tan there with the mermaid marking. On the bottom of the box here, just some standard info, and on the top of the box here we do have some text that is all in English, which is pretty cool there. So if you want to pause the video, you can read a little bit more about the Melusine unit. And then over here, some credits as well, special thanks and some information about the unit. Looks like they're going to be 49 pieces each, and that's probably, you know, give or take depending on the option parts you want to use. All right, let's pop the box. I don't think we're going to have anything on the inner box. Sometimes on the outside wall of the inner box you might have some more text or something on the back side, but nothing in this case. And these being 1/35 scale, they are going to be smaller in the same scale as the Gachinen, the capsule model kits there from Kyoto, and which we've taken a look at a number of those in the past. But here on our beautiful decal sheet, you can see we have some standard markings up there, mostly in white and black, a little bit of red, some red, black and white, and yellow there for some numbering, and then some decal schemes here. So like I said, you have some decals of the mermaid there, but also the skull and crossbones, and a few other different options there that you can use for your marking decals. We've also got a nice color card here, which gives us a couple of examples of some different color schemes that we can use for this. Not sure if I'll stick to one of these color schemes necessarily. This dark green one is pretty cool there with the yellow color band on it. The two-tone gray with the yellow is also a pretty good one there. So I don't know, there's some nice options. I'm not sure what I'll ultimately do as far as the painting for these. We will see. But then we have our instruction manual here, which has some nice line art there of the unit, front and back. Here is our color guide down here, letting us know what colors are recommended. Anyway, that would be for the color scheme that's on the box art, I believe. And then on the inside, going to be pretty straightforward. Here we have a parts list over there on this side. It looks like these are going to be parts that are not going to be used. And it's basically just this one kind of folded out page here, and that's going to be the entirety of our construction instructions here for this. These, I believe, do have some minimal articulation in them, although not really a whole lot. You can see here we have the laser gun equipment type and the engineer type. So yeah, you will have the option of whether you want to have 2 hands, or if you want to have one to have the laser gun, or both. You can have some options there, which is always nice. Also, just wanted to point out how it's nice that all of our instructions here we have in both Japanese and in English. So you have the 1-point guide of Cupid there, for example. So some nice little commentary giving you some tips along the way, and also just kind of letting you know what we have here. This is the new Panzerfaust and the Panzerschreck, so some options there as well as far as the handheld weapon, so you can have some choices there. And it looks like we are going to be needing a drill here, as there is mention how you are going to want to use a 1.5mm drill for drilling a couple holes in that one part there in the arm, for example. So just make sure to follow the instructions carefully. There is definitely some useful information here hiding in the instructions, so just make sure not to overlook that. As far as the runners then, obviously we just have 2 of our 2 different runners. Here is the first runner, a fuller runner with a lot of smaller pieces there. This runner is labeled runner SA for the 1/35 scale Gustav, actually, and you can see a lot of nice detail on there. We will have some seam lines on the legs there, for example, and on some parts there on the arms as well. Just to give you guys a nice close-up look at some of the details here on these parts. It all looks really quite nice, but there's our larger runner, and then of course we have our smaller runner here, which is smaller but features the larger parts, which would be the 2 halves of the main torso, the main chassis of the unit, and then some other smaller parts on here as well, and some work cut out for us just to remove those seam lines on there, but ultimately I don't think it should be all too bad. Let's go ahead and get these all put together. Alright guys, and here's how the kits are gonna look once all assembled and painted and finished and based and everything here. I actually meant to show you guys what the kits look like just assembled before painting, but unfortunately I forgot to record that and show that to you guys. But anyway, here is the finished product. As you can see, I did make one of each type, one of the laser gun equipment type, and then one of the engineer type, basically one that just has two hands and one that has the laser gun on the arm. And the one with the laser gun arm, I did also give a Panzerschreck here, which the hand, like, it fits in the hand, but it's not necessarily, I don't know, it's not like, it's not a perfect fit into the hand, but it fits in there well enough. You just kind of glue it into place, and that works out fine. And yeah, for the engineer type, holding the new Panzerfaust here, it's actually molded with the hands on the handle of that and everything, and it was kind of hard to get the arms kind of lined up in the right way, and I think I don't have it exactly quite right, because it's difficult because you have to like glue these parts together while you're trying to line it up, and then also glue these parts all together. So it's a little bit challenging to get that assembled. I think next time I'll probably be able to do it a little bit better. But anyway, the pose may be a little bit off, but I'm fine with that. And as you can see, I went for a camo scheme, not as one of the suggestions in the manual, but I did go for something totally different here. And I want to give you guys a second to guess what the animal is that the color scheme is based off of. I'll give you guys a few seconds here. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Leave your guess. What do you think that color scheme is based off of? Pause the video because I'm just about to tell you guys. So yeah, anyway, it may not be immediately obvious and it's not exactly right, but anyway, the inspiration for the camo and colors for this is actually based on the African wild dog, an animal that I've always found very interesting looking. So I thought that that would make a good color scheme for these guys. None of the suggested color schemes really excited me too much, and as you can see, I also opted not to make any color bands on them. That was mostly just because once I was going through the process of painting these, I just kind of decided, you know, I'm just kind of happy with this as it is. I didn't want to add any color band onto there, and so it's just a matter of going through, and obviously this is all hand painted. I used SMS paints for the paints for this. I think it was 5 different paints. I had like a dark gray, a lighter gray, a brown, a beige, and like an off-white color that I used for all the painting. But yeah, pretty straightforward assembly for these. For the decals, I only used the included decals, so I just wanted to use everything that was included with this set and not anything more. As you guys may have seen, this was part of a build that I was doing to demonstrate the Hobby Zone products, so you can check out that video if you want. But so I was kind of limited as to what I was using, and that was a self-limitation that I put on myself. So yeah, anyway, the only part of the construction that was very difficult was that on like the top of the head, there was a couple of panel line details that I had to rescribe out just because of, in the process of removing the seam line, those panel line details ended up just getting sanded away, and so I had to do some rescribing. And then also, once the kits were painted, while handling the kits, the little antenna there on the back on one of them broke off twice, and I had to just re-glue it on there. So I would recommend maybe just replacing that antenna with a little brass rod. Would probably be a better idea. That way you don't have to worry about that breaking on you while you're trying to handle the kits for painting and weathering and doing all that. And on the note of weathering, I didn't do a whole lot. I basically just did like a gunk wash over the whole thing using some Mr. Weathering color, and that was a dark brown that I used for that, and then did a little bit of, actually a little bit different weathering on the two of them. On one of them I did a little bit of dry brushing with just like a silver color, and on the other one I used a little bit of graphite pencil along some of the edges to basically do the same thing, but I wanted to try basically 2 different techniques on these 2 different kits to basically do the same effect of the weathering, but the technique is slightly different. So, and then obviously the last step was basting them up and making the bases. So they're just simple small wood block bases, and I just used some white glue to glue down some sand and rocks. And I also wanted to make the bases slightly different to make them look like they're in a little bit different terrain. So one is in a more rocky terrain with less foliage, and the other one is in a more flat terrain there with a lot more grass and varied foliage and stuff there. So just an opportunity for me to try out a couple of different things here with these to make them look a little bit different, so it's not just building 2 of the exact same kit. And so there you have it. I think that pretty much just about covers everything that went into these, but if you guys do have any other further questions or comments, I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comment section. What do you think about these guys? I know that Machine & Krieger stuff is not anywhere near as popular as like custom Gunpla work and things like that here on my channel, but for those of you guys who are checking out these kits here, I do thank you for checking out this video, and I encourage you to try out some of these kits for yourself. If you guys do have any other questions about just kind of the general construction process on these, tips or anything like that, I can help you out. But I would also, as always, recommend you guys to check out Lincoln's channel, Paint on Plastic by Lincoln Wright. It's basically the person who I learned most everything I know about these kits from, and I would recommend you guys to check out his channel if you're interested. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you want to check out some different Machining Krieger kits from Hasegawa or Wave, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. We do have some in there from time to time, not a whole lot, but there is some for you guys to check out. And of course, there's paints, tools, supplies, and everything else, and a bunch of other cool model kits on there. So definitely check that out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video here today. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, making sure that you're subscribed, I really appreciate all of your support. Until next time, hope you all have a great day. See you guys later. Bye-bye.